Hey guys, it's your girl, Miss G, and you know what time it is. It's G time. It's time to get up, get active, and get it together. My purpose is to give advice, encourage change, and empower success. The goal is for us to grow, elevate, and excel. Everyday action is required for change, and you have the power to create change. Happy May. We made it to May. I can't believe it's almost a half a year. This is crazy. 2022 is flying by. So if you have not incorporated those healthy habits that we've been talking about since January, today is the day. It is time. We're almost half a year through the year. So let's make sure that we're incorporating some healthy habits. We're setting our goals and we're making a plan on how we're going to get it done because time is waiting for no one. This month is mental health awareness. And so you already know, because I am a mental health professional, that I'm going to talk about mental health this month. And I really want to encourage and promote and advocate for your mental health as well as my mental health and just shed light on what that means. So today I am not by myself. I have brought in some reinforcement because what's better than one crystal? Two crystals. You have me, Mrs. G, Crystal G, and Dr. Crystal Handy. Yes, I said that, Dr. Crystal Handy. She is a doctor up in here. And so we are going to be picking the doctor's brain.
We'll see how much picking you're going to
get. About mental health and just really having a honest, transparent conversation like two friends that we are, peers, colleagues. You know, Crystal has been a great support and a mentor in this field. And so I want to show you guys just how I want to normalize mental health for you. This doesn't have to be, you don't have to be in a crisis to seek mental health. We want to check on our mental health now. And so this is where we are today. Welcome, welcome, Dr. Handy.
Hello, everybody. Hello, listeners. Glad to be here, Miss Crystal, MrsGeeTalk. I appreciate this opportunity to chat with you today.
Excellent. So I went ahead and pulled up some Mental Health America facts. And Mental Health America is talking about getting back to the basics. Here's what it has on their site right now. Since 1948, Mental Health America and its affiliates across the country have observed May as Mental Health Awareness Month by reaching out to millions of people through media, local events, and screenings. We invite other organizations to join us in spreading the word that mental health is something everyone should care about by using the May is Mental Health Month toolkit materials and conducting awareness activities. After the last 2 years of pandemic living, many people are realizing that stress, isolation, and uncertainty have taken a toll on their well-being. I agree. I'm right there with y'all. The pandemic truly brought out some different things in us. And that isolation, if you were a social butterfly like me, really kind of played on your mental.
That's the truth. Yeah. We had to reinvent some of the routines that we had, and we as a people definitely had gotten really creative in how we fulfill our interpersonal interests, our occupational interests, how we exercise, how we eat.
Yes.
All of those things go into just being creative during the pandemic and making sure that we have a fruitful life, even though we were inside initially. Now that we're slowly going back out and reintegrating ourselves into the community, it seems like there will be some more creativity in terms of just determining a new normal.
Absolutely. Speaking of mental health in itself, as mental health providers, one of the things that really was scary to me in this pandemic was becoming a virtual therapist.
Wow. Yes. Oh my goodness. That is the biggest struggle. We read face and body for a living, and to not be able to read face and body for a living fully to be just limited to a, a screen and not really knowing what's going on with people's bodies, because they can present to us what they, I don't know. It seems like it's a little covert in the way that they operate or in the way that they present themselves, and they can present themselves any way they want on the video.
Right.
And so
Right.
it was a challenge to adjust to that. And usually, I don't know, I miss the connectivity with my clients, because I'm just that way very experiential, and I like being in the room and being in the thick of our conversations. And so I just had to learn to adapt to telehealth and being as genuine as I can be, or being as genuine as I can be in a screen, and try to translate my genuineness through a screen. That is difficult, but I think I mastered it, and I love being at home.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. It's kind of like, I guess I can call it like bittersweet, because technology is one thing that scares me in itself. Okay. I am not the most technical person. I'm like, download PDF, save, drive. Wait, what?
Right. Back that up for me. What?
Right. So having to learn how to like incorporate the tools that I use in my sessions on virtual, through telehealth is very difficult. I don't want to say it still is.
Mm-hmm.
Especially moving from, like, with adult clients is a little easier, right? But when I have adolescents, this
and
is the time when,
younger.
Well, I have 13 and up.
Okay, good. You said I'm cutting that off.
That's the time we would be in the office playing Uno and, doing emotional identification with our colors and things like that. And not knowing how to incorporate that or include it in my telehealth is difficult. But I'm learning. I found some good tools online to incorporate that in. But just like for us, I can't imagine, or I can, just how difficult it has been for parents.
Yes.
Whose kids are now, or were when everything was shut down, going to school virtually, trying to work and be their teacher's assistant.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so they've definitely got to be creative and maybe value teachers a lot more.
I hope so.
Given what the teachers have to go through with, and them switching hats, that is probably an eye opener for most parents.
Absolutely.
In terms of education.
What are some things that you have seen in this last, I guess we can say even 3 years now, right? When it comes to mental health and the awareness of mental health, what are some things that you have seen that you would say, this is what I want to share based on what I've seen in this pandemic?
Well, I'll start with what I've seen, and you can kind of extract all of the nutrients out of this noggin as we go forward. But I am hard pressed to say that mental health, or the access to mental health, has been removed. The barriers to access to mental health has been removed.
Yes.
A lot of insurance companies or what have you are on the bandwagon to let mental health be a lot more accessible.
Yes.
And also with that accessibility and that barrier removed, I see a lot more people regard mental health as less stigmatized.
Yeah.
And so, everybody has a therapist now.
Basically,
it's like, and it's not, taboo to be like, hey, let's talk about mental health. Everybody else is talking about their physical health, or, we'll say occupational health in terms of the job satisfaction. Why not talk about the dome, talk about your mood, talk about, all of those things that affect your mood. So it has been very much less stigmatized. So pandemic in that way, not just dealing with the pandemic, but dealing with other life factors. And it's interesting how people have not really magnified the pandemic. I think at the first year it was like that. And now people are bringing everyday stuff to us a lot more readily, I'll say.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I love when when I meet people and they're like, well, I didn't know if I should, I didn't know what this counseling or therapist thing would be like. And then I talked to my friends. And then all of them said that they had a therapist. And they were like, what you mean you don't have a therapist?
I know.
Like, yes, go friends.
Right, right. And absolutely, it's always good to have somebody to partner with you in your life goals or just to help you through a challenging time. Therapy doesn't have to last forever unless you want it to last forever.
Right.
And it depends on which therapist you're talking to in terms of like, hey, I don't want you to be dependent upon me. I want you to grab these skills, use them, and move on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm grateful for that opening throughout the pandemic as well. I love every time I turn on the TV, there's a commercial around therapy, right? Yeah. I love that when I'm watching TV shows, whether it's, I know what I watch. I watch the ratchet shows. I know it. I watch all
you can't
of.
be giving them no marketing for that. But I understand the guilty pleasure.
It's my guilty pleasure. But I love, even in all of their foolishness, they're talking about, girl, you need to see a therapist.
Yes.
And I'm
absolutely.
like, yes, you do.
Yeah, and I'll say that is a definite I will highlight that in terms of like the media amplifying that, hey, it's okay to have a therapist and it not be the end of the world.
Right. I love that you use the word amplifying because the last few, I say maybe 2 months or so, I have introduced Amplify Mondays, right? And the purpose in that was to increase the sound of mental health, whatever that looks like, whether it's your platform on Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media site that you're on. If you are able to talk about it in a positive light, you don't know who that you may be helping, And so Amplify Mondays is ask a mental health professional, let it free you. And so this month, we're going to get a little bit more in depth with Amplify, and we're going to be live on not just Instagram, but Facebook and YouTube this month with a variety, with various therapists from different states. And I want people to come out here and ask questions. No question is off limits.
It sure ain't.
We will answer it. If you want to be anonymous, type anonymous. I don't know how you do that on your social media site, but take your name off.
That's right. That's right.
But we will answer it. And so, again, we're just trying to provide that open forum to say, you're not alone. We're trying to normalize that mental health is something that we all should care about.
That's right.
And that includes, various tools, whether it's your self-care, whether you're struggling with depression, anxiety, whatever that looks like. We want to say that you're not alone and it's okay to have somebody to help you.
That's right.
Like Dr. Handy said, it doesn't have to be a lifelong thing. Maybe you come and you're there for 3 months and you're like, that's all I needed. I just needed to talk it out.
That's right.
And
you can do that with us and partner with therapists and you'll be just fine. It's not, like I said, it's not a taboo thing. And yeah, it's a good thing to have with your in your life. I'll say
absolutely
that is something that you can definitely pull from or draw from if you find that you don't have the healthier supports necessary to get through a certain problem or a life event. We can help you with that.
Great. What are some ways that people can find a therapist?
Some ways that people can find a therapist. A lot of the time, I'll say for me, my avenue is word of mouth. A lot of people translate my name throughout, and I get a lot of referrals that way. Also, I am affiliated with, as an independent contractor, I'm affiliated with a mental health group practice, and they take various insurances. And you can pretty much contact whoever you can contact us. And they pretty much refer. Well, actually, I don't know how our mental health because Crystal is also part of the mental health
I am.
independent contracting.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I could say their name, but
I
pretty
know.
much, pretty much they find us on Psychology Today, and then
Exactly.
with Psychology Today, you call that number. They will get you hooked up. They actually give you a variety of therapists to choose from, just to be able to read our bios, and just to choose which one you feel is the right fit for you. And pretty much they hook you up within 48 hours, and you see us. So that's how
Absolutely.
quickly it is. It is very quick and easy. But I do think a good source that I just mentioned was Psychology Today. You can look at
Right.
the various individuals, their biographies, what services they offer, how they can help you, what areas of specialties they're in, or they, certified in. And yeah, it is pretty easy.
So I'm bringing it up just so that they can see what we're talking about.
Awesome.
I don't
All
know if
chef.
I don't know if you can see it on here.
I can see it.
You can see it. I don't know if they'll be able to see it on the video.
All day. I'm not sure.
If it's not, I will send the link after our video, after this episode, so that you guys can see. This is Psychology Today. It has my name and it shows you what I do, right? All you need to do is type in your city, zip code, or a name. If someone has referred a therapist, you can type their name in. If not, go ahead and type in the city and zip code, and they will show you a list of therapists in your area. And you can go ahead and pick from there. You know what? I want to see this therapist based on their bio, based on the different issues that they handle, based on their insurance, the insurance that they accept. There's a lot of different factors that play a part in it, but you can choose which therapist that works for you. And when I say that, that does not mean you type in Crystal G, you meet me, and you're like, yes, she works. I may not work for you, and that's okay. It may not be a great match. So then you say, you know what, I'm going to go back out there and I'm going to find another therapist until I find the right fit for me. Don't get discouraged if someone doesn't meet your needs. I advocate as a mental health professional, be able to say, this doesn't work for me.
Yes, I'm glad you said that, Crystal, because that's we getting a lot of, based on the pandemic and the access to mental health, we're getting a lot of first timers who don't know that it's okay to change therapists if you feel like that's not a good fit. I encourage the people though to make sure that they have at least 1 to 2 sessions with them to really solidify, because the first session might just be an assessment. An assessment is way different from an actual therapy session. So, maybe just the first timers need to know that we have to collect some information to be able to help you in the right way.
Absolutely.
And so
there's also a consultation. See if your therapist provides a 15-minute free consultation, so you can say like, you know what, maybe we will click, or you know what, I already know we're not going to click. That's a great avenue as well.
Absolutely.
I myself don't provide it, but there are many people who do.
I'm trying to think about that. I'm like, man, I don't want to give that. But then again, 9 times out of 10, people usually end up seeing me after the consultation. But it is, disheartening to be like, okay, they usually people who I have to say, because therapists have feelings too, and therapists are human. Like,
we're human.
This get on my nerves when they call and be like, "What do you specialize in?" We're like, "How did you get my number? Did you read everything that I specialize in?" I don't know what I specialize in, but it's all on the website.
We are human, just like everyone else, and we also have jobs, right? We are back to back most of the days. So putting in a 15-minute consultation, that doesn't mean a 30, 45-minute conversation on whether or not you like me. We're organized. We have to do this in a timely fashion because we have to get back to our clients. And so that's probably the reason that I don't have it available right now, because my work schedule is back to back. And so I try my best to meet the need, but right now I just don't have that available. But yes, we're human.
Yes.
And here's the other thing. Sometimes you won't hear what you want to hear. And maybe that's the reason you were in therapy.
Okay.
because you have someone who can look at you from a non-judgmental, non-biased, very clean slate and talk to you in a way that you may not have been talked to before.
Yes.
Maybe your friends are scared to tell you this.
Yes,
And your
absolutely.
therapist is like, well,
Yeah.
let's explore this.
Hmm. Yeah, and my style is very much that. And we've been talking a lot. Well, I've been talking a lot about first timers coming in to reach mental health service or receive mental health services. And then there are the frequent flyers or the third, fourth, fifth time. And then they get to me,
Who
talk
can
about
teach
them.
us?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so I'm just, it doesn't really matter how many times you get a therapist, but it does matter in terms of the applicable things that you learn from the therapist. In our clinical land, we're always talking about change. And then we get a lot of people who don't really get that second order change because they're too busy learning coping skills that, once we are no longer in the picture and they're using the coping skills, they stop using the coping skills when things are okay. And then they have to come back to us. That
Right.
is, yeah, that is considered the first order change. Like
Right.
we put a
Right.
Band-Aid on it and it healed, but there's still an infection. And so it is very interesting to me, just the third and fourth and fifth person to have me as a therapist. And I hear various stories about therapists maybe saying some things that are kind of not my style, and then you have to reprogram these individuals in
Right.
terms of a healthier way of thinking about things or dealing with things. So it's just interesting to me, just the variation of individuals who do, access our services. And I don't know what I was going with that, but I just wanted to acknowledge.
No, but yeah, those first timers or even people who have done this before, it's kind of like, and I'll kind of connect this to parenting, right? Yes, you have a child, you've gathered some skills, but every child is different. And you may have to switch up your parenting style for the next child because they're going to challenge you in different ways. Same with your therapist. You may have learned some skills, but your next therapist may be something different that you've never encountered before. So go with an open mind. Don't just say these are the things that I want to do and I don't want to do nothing else, because then you kind of you
Limit
change the
yourself. You
therapeutic
limit
process.
yourself.
There we
Mm-hmm.
go. You
Yeah.
limit it, and then you may not be able to get exactly what you were looking for because you kind of have those walls up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Start fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Even if
Yeah.
you've learned relaxation again, if your therapist is like, let's do some relaxation skills. Oh, I already learned relaxation. I already know how to deep breathe. I'm always like, okay, great. How many times do you do it a day? Why don't do it a day?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So we're going to learn relaxation again because the purpose was to do it daily.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then the you think about it in terms of like, why are you here if you know how to do that already?
Right. Right.
So if you
I
know how to do
agree.
that already, it hasn't been working. Okay, so I'm offering you something different. Like let's
Right.
dig in.
Right. So I encourage everyone that's out there that may be on the fence about mental health, whether or not I should seek a therapist, go for your consultation first. Just get out there and start. And once you're there, be open to the process. You'll know in the next 2 or 3 sessions whether or not this is a good fit for you, but allow the process to work. It is a process. You're not going to get everything done in the first session, which is usually your assessment session. That's when you're just sharing the information. And then you need time to process it. It's going to be every session you are opening up a little bit more, and they're providing you with a little bit more. So give it time. And along with giving it time, work with what they're giving you outside of the session. Go ahead and give them these numbers, Dr. Handy, because I tried to give it to him last Monday on Amplify. And I was like, Crystal has the numbers, but I don't. I only see you for 60 minutes a week.
Oh, yes, my spiel.
Yes.
Okay, I always ask the client, what is 24 times 7? That's 168 hours. And I only get one of those hours. what are you doing with the rest of those 167 hours of your time? We're like,
You're like, whoa.
yeah, therapists are not miracle workers. We just partner with you to get you to the goal. But if you ain't doing nothing outside a session, what that look like for us? Like, we are not working harder than you. It's just not going to happen. We got other things to do.
Yes. Yes. I told y'all she had the numbers for you. I'm just like, well, I only have you 1 hour a week. What are you doing with the rest of the hours?
Absolutely.
You have
Well,
to
what are you
actually
doing?
use what you're learning, implement it, apply it to your regular life. You cannot, come with us one hour a week, and then the next hour, the next week you're like, nothing's changed. Well, yeah.
Especially when we talk about homework. Homework,
Yes.
we want you to be able to add some deliverables to our sessions. That's how we know we are moving forward with the goal. And some folks just
Yes.
don't want to do what they need to do, and they know they
Right.
need to do it. And so we're patient people. Well, for therapists who aren't that patient, I don't know, but I know I'm pretty patient for until a time, until a time comes where I'm like, okay, so
All right, let's have this session. We need to have a meeting.
yeah, we need to have a straight up meeting because I am not here to collude with you. I'm here
Right.
to, partner with you in the changes that you say you want to make.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing that I will leave you with, let's say that you are aware of mental health, mental health, you are an advocate, you tell all your friends you need a therapist because you have been in this process before and somebody has helped you. The one thing that I will say is a person seeking therapy has to be ready. We can't
Yeah.
force people to take therapy. We can't force this upon people. And sometimes if we are very adamant and we are very aggressive in that approach, we may prolong them seeking therapy even longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the best way somebody can encourage another person that they feel needs therapy? How can they encourage them in a positive way?
Well, I, I don't know. I have a few things swirling in my head, but it is really what you said, according to their timing. Like every
Right.
therapist is, well, I'll say if you go to therapy and none of the therapists are working, or none of what you hear is appealing, or none of what you hear is motivating, then you're not ready.
Right.
And
Agreed.
so that's a barometer for you to consider, whether you're ready or not for this change process. And change is uncomfortable. Transition is uncomfortable.
Woo, who
So
you
it
tell?
is. It is. I think we both have been through significant changes over the years,
Yes.
but change and transition is uncomfortable. But I don't know who coined the phrase, hey, be comfortable with being uncomfortable in order to create that change or make that
Absolutely.
change happen. So I didn't know if I answered your question.
Yes, yes.
Probably danced around it.
Like it was mentioned before, you can't force anyone. If you have a great therapist, but you may not want your friend to see your therapist, that's fine. That's because you're
I
talking
hear a
about your
lot of
friend in
that.
therapy.
I hear a lot of
But
that. I hear my clients like they say, "Well, I told my friends that I got a good therapist, and they can't have that. They can't have
right.
you." I was like, "Okay." I'm flattered, but I'm a little bit frightened too.
Right. Find different, there's like talk space therapy, there's sober mind, there's like I said, go to Psychology Today and just type in your zip code and your city, and therapists in your area will pop up. I would say, you know what? Have you heard of Psychology Today? Look,
Yeah.
let me show you. If you go here and you type in your city, therapists in your area will pop up. You guys kind of get like kind of like a dating site, right? You get our pictures and our
Yeah.
bio. I'm always wondering, like, well, what made you pick me?
Okay. I'll be wondering that too. I'll be like, what you really trying to do? No.
Right. Because I'm like, I mean, I can't tell you whether or not I'm gonna look like that from day to day. So
Okay. Like shoot, it depends on which hair change I'm gonna do, which makeup
how
I'm going to
wholesome is that
have.
picture?
Hmm. Right.
Then you get me, and I'm like, get up, get active, and get it together.
Uh-huh. I know.
Doesn't
I
tell
know.
you that from the picture.
No, there's so much more than just, what we advertise on Psychology Today. And just not Psychology Today. I know I serve the, BIPOC community, and well, I'm not on there yet, but what is it called? Not Well, there's Therapy Den. There is therapy for Black girls. Um,
Nice.
there's a couple of different things that you can be, different venues that you can find a therapist. And it's
Nice. I
super
need to get
easy.
on therapy for
Mhm,
Black girls. I'm not on there.
mhm. Yeah, it's all of those different venues, but really, all you really need is Google.
That's it. That's all
That's
you
all you
need.
need is Google. And for those who have SEO strength, and that is more clinical speak in terms of a website thing, to where, if you type in something like need help with infidelity, or need a strong blank therapist, or I need a
Right.
male therapist, need a female therapist in my area.
Right.
It is as simple as a Google search for you to
Right.
get connected with the therapist that could be right for you.
Good. I hope you guys enjoyed this today. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. We are advocating for mental health, two mental health professionals, Crystal and Crystal.
Yes.
What's better than one? Two. If you have
Yes.
seen us together, you already know.
Want to see us off
It
this
ain't playing with
podcast?
y'all.
Want to see us off
Right.
the podcast and be real serious?
Hope that you guys enjoyed this episode today. Seek therapy. Don't wait. You are not alone. You have the power to create change. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, and we are making you aware all month long. I will see you guys next Monday. Have a blessed one.